Peace and blessings to everyone who's listening. This is the Awakening Podcast, and this is Super Solican. I want to go ahead and get into this message. Running to the doctor. Running to the doctor and trusting in the doctors before you trust in the Lord. Trusting in the medical community has gotten a lot of people hurt and harmed. A lot of people right now don't understand because my people are destroyed from lack of knowledge, because they don't understand the workings of the medical. They've been brainwashed and don't understand the inner workings of the medical field and pharmacy and how doctors operate, the Hippocratic oath, the indoctrination of the medical community. I would say, if you really pay attention, that stuff is like the medieval torture center. You understand the things that they do there. Some of the practices that they're willing to do is pretty medieval. These things would be short of nothing you would think you would see in one of those in a pyramid in a mummy or something, where they taking out people's brain through their nose or something like that. You understand? Like, these are like, even in modern medicine case, we have some horrible medieval barbaric procedures. There is no reason that the human body shouldn't be functioning at a high level as long as it's not bombarded with foreign substances. It's not bombarded with things that that aren't supposed to be in your body, and you're getting exercise and you're active and getting exercise. I talk to people all the time who regret going to doctors and getting these and having these procedures so quickly without consulting with God, without even thinking, and they go in and let these procedures happen, and now it's no reverse. So you can't reverse the effects. You go into for cancer when you didn't messed up your diet is messed up. You've been smoking cigarettes. You don't exercise, and your lymph nodes now have built up with these toxins that you need to detox. Also, you don't have the spirit powering your whole body. So in turn, you won't see your self-healing is disrupted. And the demonic realm and the satanic realm, these beings can come in and manipulate your cells. You don't have a hedge of protection over your life. So you run to the doctor and you already going there off of false premise. You don't have a proper understanding. And I really do. You don't have a proper understanding of what's wrong with you. And I really do recommend this for anyone who goes to the doctor. You should, and God recommends this. You have to do your own research and study and you should know your body by now. You should know your own body, and you have to do your own research and study to have some working knowledge of what's going on with you before you go to the doctor. They aren't miracle workers. Their hands could be blessed by God. There's some doctors, not all of them are created equal. That's why some of them are better than others. But God, for the doctors who really believe that there was a godly calling on their life, their hands are blessed by God. The hands of the healing hands work through them. God, those are the ones that you need to go to, because those are the ones who really have healing hands. Why you think all these hospitals are named after saints? Things like that. But the sad thing is, you got all these hospitals named after saints and things like that. Got Jesus and stuff all in the building. But they are full of some of the most demonic, wicked, ungodly men and women that you've ever seen in your life. These men and women don't mind torturing you. Coming in, doing things that they know they're not supposed to do, and then sweep it under the rug. You know what I'm saying? They don't mind doing that. Person go in talking about they got a stomach ache. They first thing they do, they come in and remove your appendix. Tell you don't need it. But in actuality, you do need it. You need everything that's in your body. God didn't ordain what he put together to be playing Mr. Potato Head with it. How people go in here getting these hormones and stuff like that. You got doctors who giving kids, teenagers, adolescents hormones to reverse their natural functions of their body. So now a boy won't grow pubic hair no more. Don't you know that that's caused? So what do you think's going on in the body? You think you just gonna stop that and nothing? It's not gonna be disastrous. You causing them to have horrible problems later in life, health problems. What you doing is you know that that's gonna tie them to the healthcare system. That's how you make so much money. That's how it's such a racket. Let me give you some Bible verse while I'm kicking this. Revelation chapter 22 verse 2. It flowed down from the center of Main Street. On each side of the river grew a tree of life, bearing 12 crops of fruit, with a fresh crop each month. These leaves were used for the medicine to heal the nations. Do you know every medicine, everything you do comes from God, comes from the earth? Even those synthetic medications that you get from these pharmacists, you just get from the real drug dealers. That's what we gonna call them. You get from Pablo, Pablo PhD. The drugs you get from Pablo PhD, those things are just the fake carbon copies. So you know how Satan like to try to copy everything God do. Those are the fake carbon copy derivatives from the real version, which is the real version is much more potent. The real version will actually heal you. These other drugs, they don't heal you. What they do is they pacify the effects, in turn giving you other side effects to where you're going to have to do something about it later. And they know this, and they still prescribe it to you. Still just give it to you. Every time I went to the doctor, for the most part, I could go for anything. But they'll be quick to give you a script. Man, if you want something, they'll give you a script for it. It says Ezekiel chapter 47, 11 through 12. Yet its swamps and marshes will not be healed. They will be left for salt. All kinds of trees providing food will grow along both banks of the river. Their leaves will not wither, and their fruit will not fail. Each month they will bear fresh fruit, because the water comes from the sanctuary. Their fruit will be used for the food, and the leaves for the medicine. Fruit used for the food, leaves for the medicine. Man, a lot of us today do not eat healthy. We looking at fruits. The fruits is natural candy. Like God produces candies, little candies from the earth. Taste the orange, but the problem is you can't appreciate it, is because your taste palette is all messed up. Why is your taste palette messed up? Because you've been eating all this other stuff. All this foreign stuff, all this stuff that's not real food. Big Macs, fake processed food. This stuff's so fake and processed. Meat don't really even taste good without all these processes and seasonings and salts and all this stuff people tossing on it, and saturating it in oils and all this other stuff. Like, in actuality, if you just were to pluck a strawberry and if you was to detox your taste palette, which what I mean is lay off all of these foreign and artificial stuff, the Little Debbie cakes, any all this stuff, this artificial, the chips, the hot fries, the Kool-Aid, the sodas. Lay off all that for at least a month. Your taste palette will reset. Meditate in the Lord while you're doing that. While you're doing that, it'll make it easier. Talk to God while you're doing that. While you laying off of, because some people can't even do that for a month. And talk to God while you're doing that. After that month, just pick up something like a strawberry, a cantaloupe. Take a bite out of it. That thing will taste it'll taste incredible. Like it will pop. It will taste how it was supposed to taste. Take a bite of some romaine lettuce. You won't even need salad dressing. Take a bite of fresh tomato, an onion. These things are all ordained by God for our consumption. Like He put them here. And when God puts stuff here, it don't never come back void. It's always good. Every time He puts something, it's always good. You get that? I'm talking about when you taste that fruit, it's God's natural candy. That stuff, fruits and vegetables should be a huge part of your diet. Not meats, processed chips and grain and all that. No, fruits and vegetables should be at the highest part of your diet. Should be what you mostly consume for heal. And you use the leaves from the trees and from the fruit for healing. You use it to make tinctures. You use it to make tonics for healing. You understand? Isaiah chapter 1 verse 6. You are battered from head to foot, covered with bruises, welts, and infected wounds, without any soothing ointment or bandages. Let me go ahead and give you what that ointment is. Then Isaiah said, make an ointment. This is in 2 Kings chapter 20 verse 7. Isaiah said, make an ointment from figs. So Hezekiah's servant spread the ointment over the boil, and Hezekiah recovered. Did he say go down to your local witch doctor and get some of that shamada stuff? Did he say go down to your local physician and get hit with the drugs? Because that's what they selling you. No, he said go make an ointment from figs. The fruit. Natural. And figs are pretty good too. Pretty tasty. Remember those fig Newtons? The fig Newton balls? Those things are good. Like figs. Said make an ointment from that. Put it over your boil he did it, and Hezekiah recovered. These are the things to truly heal you. If he would have said, go down and get one of them drugs, go get some of that, go get some of them drugs from the physician and put it on your boil. He would have did that. We would have been 2 chapters later still talking about the boil. Because it wouldn't have healed. This is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, these things are very, very, very keen, and you need to know. 1 Timothy, let me give you something else. 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 23. At the time, alcohol was used as a medicine. Alcohol, a little bit of wine, could be beneficial to you. Do you understand? This is in the Bible. This physicians will tell you this. You know, people who are learned scholars will tell you that a glass of wine, it's nothing wrong with that. Actually could have health benefits. It's only when you take it overboard. People drinking bottle, you become an alcoholic. When you're an alcoholic, that's when it's wrong. But God isn't saying this in the Bible. It says in 1 Timothy, you look it up for yourself, chapter 5, verse 23. When he was talking to a person who has stomach ailments, says, don't drink only water. You ought to drink a little wine for the sake of your stomach, because you are sick so often. God is ordaining it. So I don't ever want to hear nobody just to be like, it's alcohol that's just wrong. No, God's told you what's wrong. You becoming a drunk and a drunkard. That's the problem. And it's a thin line between love and hate. I'm telling you, it's a thin line where you have to straddle. So it's best unless you, and I really recommend this, unless you're a responsible adult, it's best you never touch alcohol at all. You understand? Now, when you're a responsible adult, and I'm talking about like 30, when you're 30, because that's when you have enough wisdom to just use alcohol for something like this. Drink wine when you eat a meal or something to help your stomach. Drink, you may drink take a sip of some wine, a cap full of what they call it, a nightcap to go to sleep, some to unwind. Some people do that, but that's an older age thing. Like young people get drunk and just go kill themselves, go kill other people, just do the stupidest things ever. That's because you're a drunkard. And that's how you harm yourself too. Being a drunkard, trust me, I know. I'm not just speaking just to be talking. I know from experience. Before, when I was a secular man and God had to show me these things. He had to spank me and punish me. You understand? Because I was a drunkard. Yes, I was a drunkard from a young age. I had these anxieties in my life. I didn't know what was going on. I was running to the doctor. I had these problems, and none of the doctors could tell me what was wrong, because this was a spiritual problem that I had. I was under demonic attack, and I didn't understand that. So I tried to escape these problems with drinking. Like how on Constantine, you saw that priest who, the bald-headed priest who could hear all those voices from Constantine. He worked with Constantine, how he drowned his problems and those voices out with alcohol. That was how I was moving. And I drank so much alcohol. Before I used to go see my girlfriend, I used to be driving down the street. Before I used to go see my girlfriend, pick up from her school. I was in high school. I would be drinking a whole fifth to the head, just drinking it. I drank so much that I developed pancreatitis. I developed the illness to where it was an old man's illness. You understand? I drank so much to where I made myself sick. And a lot of you people, and it took me a long time. God gave me so much favor. It took me a long time to get sick from it. Some of you don't even make it that far. Some of you don't make it that far. God says in Proverbs chapter 31, verse 6, give strong drink to the one who is perishing, and wine to those who are bitterly distressed. When you see winos, people on the street, homeless people, things like that, when you see them always getting drunk, having a bottle and with them, the reason why is a lot of them have given up on life. That's the thing and what they don't understand is they call it a demon in a bottle. But what they don't understand is that those two things, their drinking and their addictions have what's caused their problems, but now they giving up on life and they're perishing. They're just passing time by. That's who needs to be sitting there drinking mad alcohol and stuff like that. People shouldn't even be casually going out every weekend getting drunk. You shouldn't be doing that. Are you crazy? Do you know the toll you taking on your body? Some of y'all working out doing all the most, but you reversing it with all this alcohol and things that you put into your body. And all you doing is then you create another patient for these doctors. I've done videos on this before. When you look at Pee Wee Herman, movies have alluded to this. Pee Wee Herman in Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure, when he had got into a car wreck, I think he wrecked his bike. He envisioned himself being in the hospital, and in that hospital, he saw the doctors and nurses when they pulled their masks down. They had monster faces, like monster mouths and clown mouths and things like that. This is a theme for people. Like, a lot of people don't want to even go to the hospital. They don't even want to touch it. A lot of men stay away from it. You understand? And a lot of them if you're going to do that, you have to be meditating in the word, and you have to be studying and have to have the protection and the guidance of the Most High. So if you meditate and you have the true relationship with God, when you meditate, I've literally experienced this. God will take you, he'll show you the anatomy of your body. I'm not joking. If you really skilled and versed in meditation and going into the spiritual realm with God, communing with God and his heavenly beings, God will take you when you're meditating and allow you to see where your ailment is in your body. You'll know it. Now, I'm not saying you got the medical term, like some people don't know what a gallbladder look like. You don't know what a pancreas look like. But God, he'll give you the knowledge. He'll give you the words and put you in a direction so you could go look that up yourself. You can look it up on a computer, however you need to do. Go to get your research. If you're still using books in the library, however you need to do it. God will give you that knowledge and wisdom to go do that. How you think that the doctors did it? They just opened up a book too. Like, they didn't do nothing special. You understand? Looked at visuals and models and did that same thing. But I'm telling you, God will save you a doctor trip, a hospital trip. He'll save you. You know, some people, you go to the hospital. A lot of people go to the hospital, never leave. You went there for a cough, and you know what I'm saying, and now you're dead. You never left. Not saying, and again, not all doctors are created equal. You know, not all of them are. Some of them are actually ordained doctors, man, ordained in the word, ordained in the spirit, ordained by God to do what they do. And God has blessed them hands. Those hands are like, what's the person with them? You know, their hands are like glowing, like, basically. Those are really blessed hands. Now, these other people just talking. So you need to really scrutinize the doctor that you go to. Scrutinize the doctor you go to. Don't all, and you need to counsel with God before you run to the doctor, because most of the things that's making you sick is because it's number one, most people don't have the favor of God on their life, don't have a relationship with God, and they just getting manipulated and tossed around by all of these systems. They're the type of people who the bacteria on their body, because they're not powered by the Holy Spirit, the spirit, the energy that's powering them isn't charged enough to power their body. They the type of people to jump into a lake that everybody's swimming in, but they jump in the lake and they get their legs amputated because the bacteria that everybody else is fine with, that lives on their body, is attacking their body. That's those type of people. And then they gotta go in, they wake up in the hospital, their legs and arms are amputated. Amputation, bro. The Bible does not believe in amputation and things like that. If at this point in time I can't use something, or at this point in time, one of my organs is failing, I don't want no transplant. Why? It's not my organ. God has ordained it. Why am I trying to save my life? Like, if God has ordained this to be so, it's time. Nothing that no one's gonna do. You want to prolong, give yourself a little bit more time on the earth for what? A lot of y'all gonna do that for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, just anybody running around here. I see somebody so you have a bad organ. So then you go to another family member and get a transplant from them. So now y'all both operating at a lesser degree. Like, you want to go take that out, take your family member, have them have to constantly take medications and operate at a less than God has ordained them to be, because you want to prolong your life. To me, that's a form of cowardice, man. It is, and God knows that. God's saying that. Because God ain't never ordained. He ain't never in the Bible took another person's organ and put it in another person. And he ain't never done that. He ain't never took somebody, take a person's foot. God ain't never ordained a person walking around getting their arm cut off and now got a metal arm or rod in their arm. He ain't ordained no stuff like that. What are you talking about? And this stuff never worked properly. It never works the same. It never worked like how if you were to leave it alone and let God do it. God heal from the inside out. He'll do it. Let him do it. You seen people, countless people talking about how they asthma being healed by just changing their diet and the way and the things that they're operating on, the things that's powering their body. You had people God healed people from blind. Look at how Jesus Christ in the Bible, he healed people from blindness, where your eyes are, now your eyes couldn't see. You know what I'm saying? Now God healed them. Now you can see, like the scales fell from your eyes. Your eyeballs or organs also, they can regenerate. They can. God, don't listen to these people telling you that destroys your faith. When they tell you that things can't heal, your liver heals itself. Your liver will heal. You sitting there, you've been drinking out of years. Like, even in my self case, God has healed me. I just told you earlier, drinking. I destroyed my body from drinking. I'm not talking about just a little bit of alcohol. I destroyed myself. I should be dead by now. But the power of God, power my body, healed it up again. Now I'm pretty healthy. To be honest, like, I've been to the doctor for checkup. They just like, man, you just a healthy guy. That's it. Nothing else to say. This is the favor of God. And this is the power of God. It comes in, it resonates in and out. What's in you, the energy, our whole body is made up of energy. The energy that's in you, this is the energy that's going to return to God. This is the energy that's eternal. The energy that's in you is eternal. That's your true self. It's fluid. It makes up everything that's within you. The human body is giving off electrical impulses. You need to be mindful of that. The medical community is not mindful. They have a big chunk missing from their knowledge. And this is the spiritual knowledge. So if you want to run to them, get messed up, don't cry later. You can't cry later. You can't sue them. You can't sue them. You can't say nothing. If they just totally took your loved one out botched the surgery and they died, don't say nothing. You ran there. If you want to go get these butt injections, these titty lifts, I talk to people, you want to go get these breast implants, and the doctor scar you all up, mess you up. You have to come back for 6 and 7 surgeries. You didn't counsel with God before you did that. You didn't. So don't cry later. God not want. That's one of those foolish prayers that God gonna be looking at you like, you should have known better. You should have listened to me. You didn't consult with me. You just ran. You just ran to the doctor out of cowardice and fear. So with that being said, man, God is the true physician. He's the healer. Jesus Christ, God gave Jesus Christ. He gave an incarnation of himself to die on the cross for your sin. Your sin, to release you from your sin. Your sin is what's making you sick. Sin, the wages of sin is death. So God has given you Jesus to release you from that. You need to meditate, give your life to Christ, get baptized, start meditating in the spirit. That meditation, that prayer will renew and restore your body. Renew and restore your mental state. Your mental state gets affected. You running want to take these pills from the psychiatrist. Another racket. Another drug dealer who just gonna get you hooked. Listen, man. God is the physician. And when he ordains things, it ain't nobody you can run to. So with that being said, get the real relationship with him so you can be in the loop, man. And so you can start getting more understanding of your body, more understanding of how humans are supposed to function, man. Like I said, they ain't supposed to be out here doing this weird science stuff, this transhumanism stuff. So with that being said, peace and blessings to the hearers and doers of the Lord's word. This is Super Solican, the Awakening Podcast. I'm gone.